Hi, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have everything set out, and then my helper came and she's sitting on half of it. So we'll see if I can get going with this paper pumpkin project here and see if I can get my supplies out from underneath her without disturbing her too much. This is the third video I've recorded today, and each time she's made her way more into my videos. So before I get the paper pumpkin going, I wanted to take a second and remind you of two things, because we are at the end of a month and the beginning of the next. My Berry Blessings class, it's a $35 online class, but it does include the stamp set and a selection of papers, which is a lot larger than this, but I keep using them as I have done videos to promote this and another class. But I only have so many of the sets. I think I'm down to about 3 more of them. So it includes postage, it includes the video how-tos, it includes the supplies to make 3 cards. It's kind of a little mini class. So that is about ready to end. And then my chip class ends Wednesday. I think Wednesday is the last day to sign up. And all of these videos are up. So you can see samples of the chip class, of the chip bundle. When you do one of my classes, then the only time you see those samples are in the class. So these are just what you can do with the chick. But that also ends on this week, the sign up for it. And then I have started the sign up for the butterfly class. So for paper pumpkin this month, mine came a little late. I know I've seen a ton of videos already go up. So I'm not going to show you the cards that you could do with that come in the kit, because you can go see other people's videos that have already gotten those up. I will show you real quickly what comes in the kit if you haven't seen any of the other videos. So here's the instructions, and I'm going to do 3 alternates, and I'm going to kind of base them off of the 3 cards that you could do. Then next month, it's kind of cool because in my winter retreat, their free gift was the stencils. And then I told them at the retreat that coming up, I would do a couple of stencil videos to show them how to use the stencils, because we didn't use them in the retreat. They got stuff that they could use them. So that is on my slate of things to do. And then next month in the paper pumpkin, everybody's going to get some stencils. So if you follow my channel, you'll start to see some ideas on how to use the stencils before you get them in your kit. And then next month, I might incorporate some of those into the alternates, because I don't know that they'll be part of it. And then for this month, the kit that you did get, it coordinates with the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, which is part of Sale-a-bration, which does end on February 28th. Here's one of the new packs of paper. If you haven't seen it, this is my favorite pack of the paper. And so I have featured it on a ton of different projects on my channel since Sale-a-bration started, and kind of there may be I know there are a couple from December as well. I do have a Sale-a-bration playlist, and I will put that down where you can see it, but this kit coordinates with it. So if you spend $50, you can get this pack of paper and it will go nicely. In fact, we're going to use it on my alternate projects, just so you can kind of see, not on all of them. But those cards that I just showed you, I used it on a ton of those too. I have camp this Friday. We're going to use it a bunch of camp. It's a beautiful pack of paper. Free if you spend $50. And I'll give you a couple of ideas of things that you might put on your order that will go with this. So then included in your kit, as well as those 2 little reminders, your instructions, this really, really fun thinking of you, that's a sticker, and then it's die cut. I always recommend that you keep these. My video that is tutorial that goes up today is one of the, I always call it the kidnapping thing from when we were little, and you would cut things out of a magazine and kind of piece it together. I recommend that you keep these, because you never know. My card today uses the word be. You could easily cut that out and have the word be. Up here, you can keep this and you'll have the word to. So, and here's an A. So, I mean, you can piece together other words if you don't use the other languages. Of course, my daughter is a foreign language teacher, so you never know who you can give the other languages to. Then we have 3 different card backs. Mine are all mixed up because I've pilfered through. So one thing that I would recommend that you do if you're looking for something to purchase during Sale-a-bration, 1, 2, 3, here they are, is to go back through your old ink spots that you have from Paper Pumpkin, because ink spots don't hold a lot of ink, and so they probably need to be refilled. So Celebration is a perfect time to buy refills, because if you spend $50, then you can get that paper for free. So kind of just take them upside down and push them on a piece of paper. This one you get a Mossy Meadow, but you can see which ones then need to be refilled, and you can buy refills. If you have a favorite color, just go ahead and buy the full ink pad of it if you don't have that already. But this is Rococo Rose, Just Jade, and Cherry Cobbler, I think. So you get those card backs. Just Jade's one of my favorite colors. She gets that little glue things that I never use. You get the die cut, so you get this really, really pretty pre-printed vellum. Your dimensionals. They're really fun doilies, which you can use either way if you want them gold. I think the gold, personally, I think the gold's a little flashy for a sympathy card, so I would probably use it this way. I'm not making a sympathy card with it because I like the gold. I just think it's a little much for a sympathy card. And then all of our envelopes have the coordinating paper, and that this coordinates so nicely with the Celebration papers. Then we get these fun die cuts. You can see we're going to use a couple of those. And then you get the black sequins and the Mossy Meadow twine, which I'm not going to use the twine, but I'm going to pull the sequins out so we can use those. I wish we could buy these because I love the black embellishments. They just can be used in so many ways. Okay, so let's see if I can pull this out from my cap. My cards may be a little bent. So I've got the Rococo Rose. I love how they're already scored. And then for this one, I've got the vellum. This is just a scrap that I have of the paper that comes in the Field and Flower. So this is the free Celebration, and it just happened to be cut the right width. It's not cut this way right. So when you're going to do vellum, I can glue anything under this and it's going to hide it pretty well. So I'm just going to go and attach some adhesive to where these leaves are. And that'll hold it on here. I'm just going to show it to you the way they had it. They just have it stuck on the card with the pink showing through. I'm just going to step it up a notch by adding this. And see, if you just press, then wherever you have the adhesive, it just shows through a little bit more. But because I did that where the leaves are, you can't even really tell that it's on there. And then I'm just going to be old-fashioned and use my scissors and kind of go right up underneath it and not cut my vellum. But because the vellum's there, this doesn't have to be cut perfect because nobody's going to notice. I could put it in my paper trimmer, but then I would chance, I didn't glue it on there quite straight, chance cutting my vellum as well. And you get the straight edge of the vellum. I like to do lots of cheating things. So where is my alternates this week? I'm using a lot of theirs and I'm just kind of changing it a little bit. So then they've just taken the Thinking of You and put it on here. But I think this could use a little bit of ribbon because this isn't going to be a sympathy card because we've already made it kind of happy. So this ribbon would be fun to add if you're trying to get the free paper, is the Blushing Bride, and it has that gold flecks in it. So Blushing Bride's kind of a shade lighter than Rococo Rose. See, it's just a shade lighter. And because this is now covered up in the vellum, the Rococo Rose is kind of a shade lighter. So I'm just going to take, I think I'll do it this way. I think first I'm going to just put it here, and then we'll see if we need a faux bow on it later. So add some adhesive either side of your back. And just pull it around there. And then we'll decide later if we want to add any kind of bow to the front. Isn't that pretty? And the nice thing about the seal is that it's repositionable for a moment because that was a little crooked. There we go. Then we can decide, do we want it flat? I think so. I think this card's going to have enough going on that we don't need to have that raised up. So let's put this on here. If you're also looking for other things, I know a lot of Paper Pumpkin subscribers don't have, you know, a die cutting machine, or, you know, you like to keep it simple. But don't use the glue dots. If you're looking for something to buy, get a real adhesive. You'll be so much happier. Okay, now let's take our Thinking of You. You want to be careful when you pull these out that you don't like pull them longer than they're supposed to be. So be gentle. Otherwise, it'll be twice as long as what you intend it to be. It is all attached in one, it appears. I was thinking that maybe they were 3 words. But if you start pulling it too much, then it gets to be really long. So just lift it up and then let it stay on its own. Because otherwise you're gonna stretch it all out of joint. See, just let it be. And then just make sure that everything is out of it. And then again, just kind of lay that middle section down and then kind of let go of all of it. So see, we've just got this laying here. And then from the middle, work its way back out. 1 letter at a time. Otherwise, you're going to get it all misshapen. I know some people get frustrated with these. So there's some little tips and tricks on how to get it back on there so it still holds its shape. Pretty, pretty. And now they've got a whole bunch of flowers on theirs. I'm going to show you something that's kind of fun. I'm going to take this. And I don't like it flat. I don't like the flatness of it. So I'm going to take a bone folder. You could use a pencil if you don't have one, but a bone folder is another fun thing to have. I'm just going to give this a little bit of texture. So I'm going to go backwards first, and I'm going to go frontwards because I want it to bend frontwards. But that backwards fold kind of gave it a little bit of texture first. It kind of loosens up the paper. It doesn't feel so stiff and flat and kind of like you pulled it out of a scrapbooking kit. Because this is a little bit more soft. So now you can kind of wrinkle it up a little bit, get those edges of the leaves. And this just breaks down the fiber of the paper. You can keep going for as long as you want. You can get it so the paper all the way separates. I'm not quite sure what happens on the die cuts if it separates. We do it a lot with cardstock. Guess I can see for you. Shall we see what happens if it separates? Then it becomes more like, because it has that feel of handmade paper. Let me see. Might not be to that point yet. Yes, I am. So just pull that apart. And then it's not nearly as stiff. So you could use this backside when we are using colored cardstock, because then you have 2 pieces. For this one, we're just going to have 1. And see, now it's nice and soft. So let's add this. I'm going to add it with a dimensional. I didn't know where I put the ones for my kit, so I'll just grab ones on my table. Add those. See, we don't have to add as many flowers as they did on the original because I've got all those flowers going on in the back. And then I wanted to take my punch. I'm going to use this little Dragonfly Punch, and it is in the January to June mini catalog. And it's going to have a nice little sticker here. It's going to it kind of roughs up the edges a little bit, but that's okay because that's why I kind of roughed that up so it kind of matches. So we have that. If you don't have the dragonfly, you might have this butterfly. Any of the small ones, a little flower. It kind of adds another little piece of interest over here. Then I don't really want to add the black sequin to this, and I don't really think that we even need another little bow, do you? So I would get my little bowl. If you follow my channel, you know I have a little bowl of embellishments, but my cat's sitting on them, so I'm not going to grab those. Let's get the holiday rhinestones. And let's just get these gold ones. They're a nice stand-in for gold, except I just dropped it. Where did it go? I don't know where that one went. It's laying on the table somewhere. It couldn't have gone far. She's literally on top of all of the things. Let's add one there. No, here it is. Let's do one here. And I'll get one of the big ones down here. Up there. So here's our first alternate. I don't usually do an alternate that's so close to the originals, but because this month we have that matching paper, I kind of just wanted to show you what you can do if you add the paper. So it's very similar. You are going to end up with a lot more die cuts that you can use later. But don't forget that all of this extra paper on here is sticker paper. So you can use it with your punches. So there's our first one. Oh, look, she's moving. So then this one, come on, babes, you can't. Now she doesn't have anywhere to go because I filled up all of our spaces. Oh, she's just walking right over the top of everything. So this one has this really pretty rose card. And here is where they did this, and they put sorry for your loss and some sequins. Okay, I must admit, not a fan. Not a fan of the glitz for a sorry for your loss. It just wasn't doing it for me. So I pulled this piece from this card because we're not going to use it over there. And I'm not going to make it into a sympathy card. So this, to me, looks really pretty on here. Yeah, isn't that pretty? I'm going to take, this is our gold thread. That is from the, oh, it's from the catalog. And I'll put the link down below because you know, it comes in. It comes with my favorite ribbon. And it's a combo pack. But now I don't remember because it's from the catalog and I haven't used that for a while. So I'm just going to put some adhesive here in the middle. And see how this is started to shred? I like that. So I'm going to let that hang off the end. I'm going to kind of do some kind of figure eights, but not necessarily an 8. But they need to go outside the doily because we know that the flowers are going to cover up the doily part. And then here will be my other end. Still trying to think of which sweet. In good taste, maybe? I don't know. I don't have a catalog laying right here. I use it all the time. You would think I could remember, but we have too many things, and I've done this for far too many years. So I've just taken my scissors, and then I've just whisked that other part. So now you just put this on here. These will all kind of fall down on here, and you can trim off any that's leaning. Put some adhesive on here. Here's what a bone folder's for. If you saw me use that and you're like, I don't know what that's for. Even though these cards are pre-scored, if you just kind of do that, then look how much flatter it lays. Let me put my doily on here. And take my dimensionals. Put those just kind of over the top of some of the, it's one more layer to kind of keep that sandwiched in there. Put that over the top. Then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella because everybody should have a Wink of Stella. So it needs to be squeezed, which is dangerous to do over the top of my flowers, but let's go for it. There we go. And just add a little bit more of the shine and shimmer to this one. I'm not standing in the lines, I'm just putting it all over. It shows up really nicely on those darker colors. And now I can add some of the, do we want to add the black? There isn't any black in this since we didn't stamp words on the front. So let's see what we have. I don't like that color. Let's go back to our holiday rhinestones because these are a nice color selection for this. So let's just go back to the same ones we just used. I'm just going to add them in my bouquet. I'm going to even add a yellow one, a red one. So it's no longer a sympathy card, but if you're doing alternates and you have a bunch of other, well, the other thing that I would suggest that if I had more time, but I'm super busy this week, if I was you and I was going to do these alternates, I would take this piece and I would cut this down, and then you would have 2 backings, because this doesn't have to have the flowers on the back, and then you could mount this on a white piece of cardstock and you would get twice as many as what you need. Or if you're in a hurry, just do the card like this because it's super beautiful. So we have gone from this one here to this. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of all the glimmer and the sequins for a sympathy card. So that's that one. So our last one is the one I've changed up the most, because, you know, I like to use the stamps. They always give us these stamps, and so often what all they use are the words. But this bouquet is fabulous. Is that not fabulous? So let's mount this on a block. Because on here they use the die cut, but we just use the die cut over here. It's a pretty big block. I'm going to stamp it in Memento. And I just have a piece of white cardstock. It's a nice, pretty, fine line art. So it's going to look different than this because this is all, it doesn't have black. So this is going to be one you can color in. You know, the first time you use a photopolymer stamp, sometimes it doesn't ink as well as after it does after you've cleaned it. Stamp this. Isn't that pretty? So, so pretty. Nice and fine and delicate. And I'm going to take blends, and I just kind of pulled some blends that were in this paper. So this is the top piece of paper that you saw on the stack that matches the flower and field. So I just grabbed blends that were in that color. You could also use, where to put my bone folder? See how that kind of raises up like that? If you have a bone folder, you just take that, and then it's nice and flat. So I want to kind of mimic this. So I just pulled out some colors. So I have Granny Apple and Spruce. This isn't going to be any kind of a big blending tutorial. I do have lots of those on my channel. This, I just want to kind of wisp in the color. So I'm going to use my brush tip. Just kind of get some of these stems. You can see I've never colored this before. Get a couple of the big leaves. And so these up here, I'm going to kind of do what they've done, and those are going to be a little bit, not blended, but mixed colors. And then I've got my Just Jade, or I'm Shaded Spruce, sorry. So I've got this little light. I'm going to just kind of pull in these. I'm not even worried if I stay in the lines. I mean, you could take time and do a really pretty little painting in of this. Now this is my dark shaded spruce. So here where I did the oats, I'll go around. Just kind of adding some color. And now I'm going to get my Just Jade, which is the color of the cardstock. And on this one, I'm going to switch to my bullet tip just because these are tiny. Get the last of those leaves. I might not have them all, but we'll go back and get them if we've missed any. Now this one is kind of that pink color, so I'm just gonna kind of work down from what I have. So it's got some light and some dark, and it's got yellow in the center. So I'm just literally gonna copy these flowers. So let's put some yellow in the center. And then do a little swish. Of the light. And then go back and fill in with some dark. And these will dry a little bit lighter than what they look right now. And I like when the Stampin' Up! Artists are the one that came up with the color selection, so I don't have to think about it. Literally just copying their choices. And then let's do these in some orange and yellow. I have the same yellow, so let's do this one, I guess, in those. And it's got a green center, which is kind of funky, but we're gonna go with it. So there's just those. Let's give it its green center. And then a little orange wisp around. You can see I'm not caring at all if I stay in the lines, because I want it to have that fun little graphic art look. And then these are blue and white, so those will be super simple. So I've got Pool Party here. Just kind of dot those all in. It seems like whenever you do one of these, then you get all the way done and you're like, how'd I miss it? See, there's a leaf right there. How'd I miss that? I don't know, because I thought I had them all. Get that leaf. So we have some red. So let's get some, I think I picked up Cherry Cobbler Poppy. You could do whatever red you have, just make it work. So let's just fill in a little bit of red. And these are so tiny, there's not any reason to sit there and spend time blending them. So we have this one flower left, and I didn't pick anything for it. Let's see. They have a big, let's do a Bermuda Bay. I didn't get any Bermuda Bay, and that looks like it could be Bermuda Bay. And I'm gonna wisp it so it doesn't get to be too dark. And then let's put a little bit of Pool Party in the center. And so then that leaves me with my bow. So let's do something really fun and do our bow in black. So here's our light black, which they're still black. So you have to be careful when you color because it's going to be black, but the dark one's dark. Wasn't sure if I would have enough colors of flowers to color in all of those, or if I'd have one leftover one for the bow. I could have done it in jade, but there's so many leaves already. So there you go. Matches the paper. And then if you have a big die cutting machine or a cut and emboss machine, you can cut that out. I am just going to assume that you don't. You could do a square, or you can just do it old-fashioned, because it kind of goes with the graphic, not stay in the lines look that we did. And kind of the same way that this is. This is not a pattern, right? If they can do it, we can do it. So let's just kind of... And the funny thing is, in all of this stuff, there's no mellow moss. So I'm not going to use the twine that came in this at all, because I have not used any of the mellow moss. Isn't that cute? Super easy. Look how cute it looks with our paper. It's custom designed. So I'm going to put this here. And then the other thing that we haven't used yet is this fun little piece here. We can go across the top of our back. I could put a saying on it, but I don't think I will. So let's put this here. how much fun is that piece? If I hadn't just custom designed my flowers to match, I would be tempted to use that side. But the fun thing is if you buy the paper, I think that's crooked. It is crooked. And our seal is repositionable, which is the feature that I love most about it, because especially when you are not putting your head right over the top of something, the tendency to put it on crooked is great. So let's add that on there, and then I am going to use dimensionals again. Keep burying them every time I use them, the next time they're buried. There's probably some fun ribbon I could add to this, but I don't want to cover up all of my flowers that are on that paper. But I am going to get these fun little black sequins. And add some of these. I don't normally do an even number, but because I'm going to do 2 on each side. So we've gone from this to this. But I did want to show you a fun way to use your stamps. Where's my Wink of Stella? I lost it. You could add some Stella. Maybe I will, and I'll put it on my pictures on my website. So go on over there. So there's your 3 alternates. Remember to be checking back, because I will have some stuff to show you, to use give you ideas before you even have next month's to use your mask. And not the masks we have to wear, because who's over that? Raise your hands. So everybody have a great day, and check back on my channel, because I have a super cute butterfly card for you that was supposed to post, but then the mailman came and brought me this. So now I'm all like trying to get everything done. Everybody have a nice Monday. Bye.